Oh, hello everybody. It is Misha Green, DC editor, and I am super excited to be here with Kayla Wheeler from Howard University's Afro Blue. I'm live, Afro Live, Afro Blue. This is going to be a good conversation. Kayla is their communications representative, and I know that they have a lot going on right now, so we have a whole lot to talk about. But y'all know the drill. Before we can go official and get into the nitty gritty, we got to share this live. So go ahead and do that if you're watching and tuning in. I always forget to turn it down, and then there's that echo. But yeah, if you're watching and tuning in, make sure that you share it always, because you want to, share that information. Education is the way that we help our community expand and be further informed. So why don't we share that information? Sharing is caring. All right, live with Afro Blue. Okay, so Kayla, before we even get started, I know that this has to be a crazy time for you. It is senior year. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You are in the middle of a competition. How are you doing? How is life for you?
Life is a roller coaster right now. I mean, like you said, there's so much going on. I'm a graduating senior at the university. We're doing this competition right now. We're in the midst of a pandemic. We're getting ready for election season. So life just feels like a big whirlwind, but things are going really, really well. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I am great. I'm super excited to be chatting with you today. And you said something that was so awesome to hear, which is that you're getting pumped up for election season. We've been talking a whole lot about that at the Afro. And so it's good to know that people in your age group are super excited about it. We've had Howard students on talking about it, and students from other HBCUs. But what you guys are doing with Afro Blue, I think, is such a sign of protest and a sign and a showcasing of it's time for unity and love and peace. And so I'm really excited about the work that you're doing and have always been doing. But tell us about Afro Blue. Tell us how it started, sort of the very beginning, and what you guys do. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty of what's happening with Upstage and NCPA.
Absolutely. Afro Blue is the premier jazz vocal ensemble here at Howard University, and it predates my time at the university by years and years and years. But the group works on a rolling basis. So each semester, the jazz students are required to audition for an ensemble, and it's very competitive auditions, especially to get into Afro Blue, because you're tested on how well you're able to read music and blend with the group, and you learn the music very quickly. So we have those auditions we have the class on a Tuesday, where we learn the music and we get acclimated with the tune, and then that following Thursday, we're ready to audition for those ensembles. So again, it's a very competitive and rigorous process. But Afro Blue, again, is one of the top vocal ensembles. So you have to be ready, when you're ready to audition for Afro Blue.
I love Afro Blue. I've seen Afro Blue before your iteration of being in the ensemble many times. And maybe, I don't know if you were around, I remember when they performed at the Wharf, at the opening of the Wharf. You may have been like a freshman then, or before your time. Okay, dating myself. Going on, moving on. I hate when I feel old. So you guys are doing this amazing competition with NCPA, and it's called Upstaged, and I'm really excited about it. I was telling Kayla earlier, and you guys, our Afro viewers, know my background is performing arts, and I wish there was a cool competition like this years ago. From what I hear, it is like the NCAA competition for performing arts. And so I hear there's brackets. I hear there are these intense battles. And so I'm curious, what's going on? Tell us about the competition.
Well, so this competition is new. It's a new world for Afro Blue. Although we are an a cappella group, we like to consider ourselves a vocal big band. So I believe that this competition is one of our first steps into the a cappella world, the competitive a cappella world. So it's super fun for us. Right now we are in the #1 seed, and we're going up against one of the other groups, and you have to tune in. You have to vote. Voting ended this past Friday, so we are still awaiting the results to see if we beat out the other group. We are so anxious to know what's going on right now.
I hear that comes out today, correct?
Oh,
It's coming out today. All right, so guys, look out for that. Definitely stay tuned for that decision, and you know the Afro will definitely have an article and update all of our followers and viewers and subscribers on whether or not Afro Blue made it on and on. But I can't see why not, because y'all are so amazing. I mean, truly, truly amazing. Part of this competition has a philanthropy aspect where you're giving back. And you all are giving back to Central Union Mission. Is that correct?
yes.
So tell us about why you chose Central Union Mission and what that means to Afro Blue.
Absolutely. So we chose DC Central Union Mission because we've performed at a lot of homeless shelters in DC, throughout my tenure of the group, and it's just very important for us to give back. In Washington D.C., there is a large homeless community, and so we want to be able to share our gifts and share just the gift of music with those people. And we love DC Central Union Mission not only because it's able to provide housing for the community, but it also helps with job placement and clothing. So it does so much for the community. It's really a pillar, and it's something that we want to continue to uplift and support here in Afro Blue.
Well, I am, again, so incredibly inspired by the fact that you all find the need and the love and passion to spread your gifts with other organizations and performing at different places around the city, and particularly at a place where a little sunshine and good music can play a major role. Thanks to all those who are tuning in and saying good morning and hallelujahs and just sending all of this amazing feedback. Remember, in a few minutes, you'll get the opportunity to get some of your questions answered or your comments read. So please, please drop it down in the comments. Talk to Kayla, talk to me, tell us what's going on. Please, we really want to know how you're engaging with us and what you're thinking about Afro Blue and some of the awesome things that they're doing. So Kayla, I know that you all are singing songs that not only are entertaining, but also really touch hearts and make you feel. One of the other times I remember seeing Afro Blue perform was at the Washington National Cathedral. And it was this really beautiful experience in which, it was almost, it was moving in a true and deep way, where the music touched your soul in such a beautiful way. And at this time, with protests, police brutality, decisions that many people don't agree with in the court system, we need some of that uplifting music. Can you tell us about some of the songs that we can hear, or not only throughout this competition, but also in general?
Absolutely. One of the main goals of Afro Blue is to uplift and to inspire. So we love to spread positivity in our messages through our music. So one of the songs that you will hear, especially throughout this competition, is His Eyes on the Sparrow. That is on our most recent release, We Shall Overcome. It's one of our favorite tunes because we are all in the group very much so connected to our faith. I saw a lot of amens and hallelujahs in the comments, so I just wanted to just give God the glory. And just for a quick moment, But His Eyes on the Sparrow is a song that most of the members in our group grew up with. And so when our leader, Miss Connaitre Miller, brought her arrangement of the tune to a rehearsal, all of our eyes just lit up. We got so big. We were super excited about this. I mean, because we all know that Lauryn Hill, his eye, you know, we all remember.
Give it to us, Bill Kayla. Give it to us.
I remember that moment growing up, and so to hear this cool, hip, jazzy version of His Eyes on the Sparrow, it moved us. It moved us to pieces. So we are so very excited to be singing and giving this song to the NCPA competition.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because after I watched that video of you guys talking about it for the NCPA competition, I have had that song in my head all day, just singing it and trying to sound like Lauryn Hill and it not working, and me maybe like taking the Tanya Blount low part just because, you know, the high notes were not killing it. And then you just did it so effortlessly. Okay. Give this girl a contract right now. She's graduating.
Y'all heard
her. So again, people, I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments. Feel free to drop some questions down there as well. So you have We Shall Overcome that just came out. You just talked about it, and His Eye is on the Sparrow is one of the tracks on it. Can you tell us about the album We Shall Overcome, some of the other songs we can hear on that, and why you guys felt the need to title it that?
Right. So We Shall Overcome is actually the title of is the title of the first song on the album. We decided we are very big about just our activism as well in Afro Blue. And We Shall Overcome, the arrangement that Professor Miller brought to us. I mean, again, Professor Miller, you guys, I just want to sing her praises a bit. She is so talented and able to keep her ear to what's going on musically in the world. And so when she brought We Shall Overcome to us, we were all very excited. It has this New Orleans type of feel to it, that backbeat. It's really, really cool. So we have We Shall Overcome. We do a rendition of Honeysuckle Rose, which is super swinging. So for all of my straight ahead jazz fans, please check out our arrangement of Honeysuckle Rose. We have some St. Louis Blues on there, Ribbon in the Sky. I mean, the album is like a compilation of all the wonderful things that Afro Blue is. Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorite albums that Afro Blue has done. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on it. I'm saying that because I believe that it encompasses everything that Afro Blue does, is, and stands for all around. So yeah.
How is it being a student and then having that extra responsibility with doing and being a member of Afro Blue, and you're a communications representative, so you have even more responsibilities?
Yeah, I mean, I think the wonderful thing about Afro Blue, it is definitely rigorous. It does take a bit of time, but it prepares you for the professional world. I mean, especially now that we're in the midst of a pandemic and everything is a bit virtual, Afro Blue is having to adapt very quickly to the new environment. And so I think it's just a testament to learning about the industry and how fast-paced things can change. And I think it's also about time management. We have rehearsals every Tuesday and Thursday from 3:40 to 6. So it's going to take a bit of your time to learn that music. And then you also have to take some time outside of class as well to prepare, because she wants you to come in class ready. It's not that we're going to come in and she's going to take you through it baby-wise. You need to be ready when you come into rehearsal. So it's definitely a big responsibility, but it's something that we all take on with grace and pride.
And in terms of just this virtual world that we're living in now, classes are virtual, you're doing this competition virtually. What is that like? Explain that for us. Yeah, you know, I don't have any kids. I'm working virtually, but other than that, I don't know what this world is. Tell us.
It's different. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. And it takes a lot of discipline. I mean, sometimes you want to do class just right from your bed, you know, and you don't really want to get up. But I think it's just all about pushing through. And I think that's just the biggest word for this pandemic in general. It's just learning how to push through and navigate those days that you may not want to. Um, yeah, that's the best thing I can say. It's different. It's a bit confusing for everyone, but we're all learning together. And I think everyone is being extremely flexible and extending grace where grace needs to be extended. So I think it's working. I think people are starting to get into a flow of what this virtual world looks like.
And I know that NCPA is new, but were you guys doing other a cappella competitions prior to that?
Prior to us doing this NCPA competition, the last thing that we've done was the sing-off. I don't know if anybody remembers our sing-off days, but that was the actual last competition that Afro Blue has participated. From there, we've just been doing a lot of gigs around the city, networking, and continuing our other relationships.
Got it. Wonderful. And what is that Afro Blue environment like? How many members do you guys have? And what is it like in terms of camaraderie?
Oh my goodness. Afro Blue is my second family. There are 9 of us currently. And again, we are a big family. Every time we get together, Ms. Miller has to simmer us down. I'm pretty sure the next time we all convene in person, Ms. Miller is going to just give us like an hour to just chat and be loud and sing, because I mean, it really is just that close knit relationship that we all have with each other. And even more so, the wonderful thing about Afro Blue is that we're able to reach back into members who are no longer with us and still, be able to sing songs together and have chats if we want to. So that's just a wonderful thing about Afro Blue, is this lineage of wonderful singers and performers that just have this big net of love, you know?
And what makes you guys different from the other groups in the competition?
Definitely our jazz aspect. It's straight ahead. It's very much so within the idiom of jazz. We like to incorporate different styles, but always at our root, it is that jazz idiom. Like I said, we like to call ourselves a vocal big band. And Ms. Miller is very serious about it. She wants us to make sure that we're keeping our straight tones, just the things that are very much so characteristic of the jazz idiom. She's making sure that we're staying within that constantly.
Wonderful. And what sort of happens for Afro Blue members post grad? I know you're in that place now. What are next steps?
Well, post grad, most of us perform for a living. Like, we have members like Christy Dashield. We have members like Danielle Withers, who's out in LA doing work. You can find her on Tiny Desk doing background. So, I mean, we go into all of these different avenues of performance. And I think that's the wonderful thing about being in Afro Blue. It's that, yes, we're doing straight ahead jazz, but it's preparing you for any lane that you want to go into postgraduate.
I think that's so cool. Performance in general is such a great way to prepare. Can you share with us some of the places that you have enjoyed performing at as a member of Afro Blue?
Yes, one of my first Afro Blue gigs was actually at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
And I felt like a little schoolgirl, eyes wide. I mean, it was an amazing experience to be on a big stage where these professional artists are being booked. Another one of my favorite was actually the Library of Congress. And that show was a bit different for Afro Blue as well, because we had to dress up in these costumes and walk around as if we were imitating art, So that was a very fun one as well.
That is super cool. I love that. That I'm sure was a push in many ways, but really educational as well.
Absolutely. Ms. Miller is always trying to find new ways to stretch us and give us, put us in new environments. And the really cool thing about that particular gig was that Afro Blue, we're used to standing all in a line together, side by side, so that we're able to hear each other. But for this particular gig, we were all spaced out around the Library of Congress with lavalier mics, around the ear mics on. And so we had to really focus in on what our parts were and remember what we learned. And it was really, really cool to be able to stretch ourselves in that way.
That is so cool and awesome. I wish I was there for that. But that's okay, because after the pandemic, you guys are going to have a lot of other great gigs, and the Afro will be a part of it. And we'll be rocking our Afro Blue for Afro Blue.
Yes.
Alrighty. So I want to get to the comments because people are tuning in right now. It says we have 46 comments. So I am probably not going to get to all of them. So I'm apologizing in advance, but I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. And of course, would love to get some questions in. So if you have any questions, please, please, please write them in the comments. VK Dunn says, I remember when this group was founded. This is amazing. Thanks, V, for tuning in. Angelia, I believe. Scott, who is a top fan, is just giving all of the awesome emojis. And thank you so much for tuning in. Debbie Lynn Gans, who we love. Thanks, Dam, says, in the NCPA competition, if you make it to the final two teams, who would you love to compete against? We know all the groups have a friendly rivalry. Ooh, that's a good question. Thanks so much for that, Deb.
The answer is Pitch Slap from Berklee College of Music. I love them. They are so amazing in their style and being able to do the R&B tunes, which is different from what what Afro Blue does. I think it would be really cool to put us two together.
That is something that sounds really nice. Look, y'all, we all need to be tuning in for this, okay? This, as much as we tune in for the NCAA competition, let's get some art in our lives and be uplifted. All right, Caitlin X says, Kayla, how can we watch your Sparrow video ourselves and vote for Afro Blue?
Well, His Eyes on the Sparrow you can find on YouTube. All you have to do is type it in, His Eyes on the Sparrow Afro Blue, and you'll find our video there. Voting has closed for this particular round, but I will make sure that afro.com gets all the info on how to vote for the next round if Afro Blue makes it. Fingers crossed. If Afro Blue makes it, we'll make sure that you guys know all the info on how to vote for us for the next round.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Jewel Wall, who is a top fan of Cher, says, oh, yes, to God be the glory. I shared. Thanks for sharing. No weapon. No, it won't prosper. Yes. Thank you, Jewel. She says, my family too, with hearts. Hallelujah. God bless. Appreciate this information. We've come too far. Yes, she's right. My favorites, and yeah, she's just tuning in, and sending us all the love. So we really appreciate you.
Thank
you, Jewel. You are a gem to us, and we really appreciate it. Also, the Afro is tuning in and chiming in, and I think it's probably my boss, Reverend Bullware, and it's coming in as the Afro's page and not her page, because she absolutely loves Afro Blue and made sure that we did this today. So I want to give her a shout out. And she said, we love Afro Blue. Afro Blue gives back with the gift of music. I remember the sing off days and wanted you to win. So thank you so much for all those who are tuning in and showing Afro Blue all of the love. So, Kayla, I know that this is after the competition. No matter what happens, this is not the end for Afro Blue. What else can we expect?
We are still currently in class and currently working, okay? So right now we are actually gearing up for some Christmas things. I'm not sure if Miss Miller really wants me to plug it, but just know that we have a really, really swinging classic Christmas tune. And a hint will be the song is by one of our very own alum from the music department. So think about a famous alum with a famous Christmas tune, and just know that.
Okay. I'm loving it. Well, you know what I think should really happen is that Afro Blue has to come on afro.com and give us a little snippet of it, if that's possible.
I think so. I think we need to make that happen.
I would absolutely, absolutely love that. So again, I'm going to give the people a little bit more time to throw in some questions before we wrap up in about the next 5 minutes. Oh, Colin Sophia says, I'm a living testimony, my dream and all the wealth, fame, success. And oh, okay, I don't know what this is. But thank you so much for tuning in, Colin. We really, really appreciate it. Alrighty, so moving right along. I know that this election cycle and this election season has been really tough for us. And I've interviewed a lot of musical guests, some Howard alum, excuse my dogs, including Richard Smallwood, who talked about how music is healing and necessary during this time. And as African Americans, we have always needed music and used music as a tool. I know you said activism has been something that's key to Afro Blue. Can you tell us a little bit about why that is the case and what you think your place is as an artist and as a group during these times?
Yeah, I would just say that as a Howard student, activism is just in our DNA a bit. I mean, we really stand for our people and what is good for us. I mean, even within the administration of our own university, I mean, we have seen instances of students protesting and going into the A building to just make sure that the rights of the students, the rights of our people are always heard. So again, yeah, activism is definitely in the DNA of every Howard student. And as an artist, I believe that we as artists, we stand on the front lines for social change. And so I think it's extremely important for us to use our gifts to spread awareness of what's going on in this world. So I would just say that it's extremely important to each of us as individual artists and as a collective unit to make sure that people are out there voting, people know their rights, and just as Black people, that we are standing together in unity and harmony and love, and as the human race as well. I mean, again, there's just so much going on in the world right now. The world is most definitely a roller coaster, and I think that togetherness is what we need in this season, especially with us having to be virtual and, not able to just have as much contact as we're used to. I think that reaching out, extending grace and love to one another is just, it's pertinent in this area, in this era.
My goodness, Kayla, you are exactly what our hope is for the future. You are so polished, poised, articulate, and have the hope and faith that we need right now. So I can only hope and pray that that there are other students just like you who are about to graduate and change the world. So I got to ask you personally, what are you crossing your fingers for and hoping post-graduation? Right now, I'm looking at like music PR being a part of that because, hello, this is excellent. But I'd love to see you performing. So what do you want to do?
Absolutely. So I am a singer-songwriter, and I've been performing professionally under my artist name, Halo Wheeler, since about 2011 now. And it's just been a journey. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. So I started off in the church there singing. And then from there, I got my own band and just began doing gigs and things like that. And then I heard about Howard University and most importantly, Afro Blue. And so I took my journeys and took my talents up to DC. And from there, I've been able to put out a few singles and I have an album out as well. And so I just hope to continue post-grad, to continue performing the way that I am now, but just on a more consistent basis and on a larger scale. So y'all out there, find me, book me. I'm about to graduate, y'all.
Right. We are ready. The world is ready. Kayla, first of all, how can we follow and keep up with Afro Blue? And then you got to plug yourself. How can we follow and keep up with Kayla Wheeler?
Absolutely. So for AfroBlue, you can find us everywhere under AfroBlue HU. And then you can look us up on our website under www.afrobluehu.com. Also for myself, you can find me on all platforms under my name, Halo Wheeler. Halo like the angel wear, and Wheeler like my name is here displayed on the screen.
I love it. Well, you have been an angel to us today. So thank you so, so very much. Kayla Wheeler, AKA Halo Wheeler, AKA communications representative for Afro Blue, who is doing their thing. We will have our ears open and our eyes peeled to our computer screens to see what happens with the NCPA Upstage Competition. And in the meantime, we are sending you guys the best of luck, best wishes, and many blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
No problem. Thank you for being here with us today. Take care. And thank you as always to our Afro viewers for tuning in to the Black Media Authority.